For as long as there's been the internet, there have been rumors and theories about the infamous Illuminati, a group of people that control the world and ultimately strive to create a one-world government, a new world order. Over the years, there have been speculations and documentaries explaining and trying to connect the dots. But surprisingly, like with all the other great revelations about our system and the different agencies and their mischief, there hasn't been much concern from the public. Maybe rightfully so, as noble and forthcoming as it may seem to reveal and point out the wrongdoings, it inadvertently gives more power to what our ET friends tell us is a very small group of people that ultimately are not a threat to humanity at all. Much like the wizard in Wizard of Oz, once you pull back the curtain, all there's left is a man with all kinds of bells and whistles, shaping your perception and dazzling you with illusions that once you stop believing in them, lose their power over you. It's important for you to understand that and let it sink in, because what I'm about to tell you might come as a surprise. We are already living in this one world government that some of us fear so much. Your grandparents did, your parents did, and now you. And seemingly, it wasn't that tyrannical, was it? Most of us went to school, accepting what we have been taught, every bit of it as the whole truth. We have been given the illusion of choice to follow whatever profession we want. That regardless of what avenue the profession takes, and however obscure and independent for the system it may seem, it ultimately requires the one thing that will definitely shatter any doubts whether or not you are still part of the system. If it has not occurred to you what that might be, then allow me to show you. You see, one does not need a system holding the masses at a gunpoint. If they are given certain freedoms and are fooled into thinking the only way to measure success, wealth and abundance is by this piece of paper, and you can see how easy it would be to manipulate the markets of the entire system without any objections. And to take this one step further, they will tailor their illusion of freedom to each nation to give them a sense of sovereignty. So now that you know that it was you that bought into the system of illusions, for one reason or another, why don't we see what we can do to take back our power? In the case of the Dakota Access Pipeline, a published article by Yes Magazine titled "How to Contact the 17 Banks Funding the Dakota Access Pipeline," it states that researchers with the nonprofit Food and Water Watch found that 38 banking institutions are involved in funding the proposed Bakken pipeline. The simplest and most powerful move any of us can do is simply to withdraw our money, stock and business, from all these banks and companies, which will undoubtedly force them to back out of the deal to finance the pipeline project. For years, there have been protests and objections to the use of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, specifically when it comes to our food. GMOs are also used to produce many medications. A GMO can be a plant, an animal, whose genetic makeup has been modified using recombinant DNA methods, also called gene splicing. A simple online search and 5 minutes of your time will give you a pretty good list of companies producing GMOs, and upon further research, a list of companies using cancer-causing chemicals for crops and antibiotics and hormones for livestock that obviously we end up consuming. And the answer to all of this again is this. Decide for yourself right now, which one is more important, convenience or quality? If you're in a store and you think about buying something, which world would you rather buy into? And use the same thought process for everything else. When you're buying food, buying stocks, buying household products, paying for cable so you can watch the news that hardly anyone finds trustworthy anymore, virtually anything, and your actions, by default, will change the entire system and the way business is run. And last but not least, knowing what you know now, if you think that siding with either of these two will ever get you out of this illusion, think again.